You know, what's worse is this next story. And I don't know if you all have heard about this story or not, but the grandmother and the mother who are charged with murder after telling the 4-year old to drink a bottle of whiskey. Now, listen to the details of this story. So the grandmother, the matriarch of the family, the house that the mother and the other kids, because there's the daughter who passed away, and she has some other kids, so they all live under this roof with the grandmother. And so apparently the grandmother was trying to teach the 4-year old daughter a lesson, and the way she did was she told her to finish drinking that bottle of whiskey sitting on the table. Now the other kids in the house went on to testify to say that that bottle was more than half full, so they made the 4-year old drink this entire bottle of whiskey and laid her down in the bathtub. And then shortly thereafter, she was unresponsive and they called the police, and the police arrived. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, okay, let me just give the details, not my opinion. And so the grandmother admits to the police, yes, I went overboard. I did wrong. I should have known better. This is all my fault. So they arrested not only her, but the mother as well. That you're also an accessory. You didn't stop. You didn't it's legally wrong for a child under a certain age to be consuming alcohol. And what are you doing? And you're not stopping. And so she was arrested as well. The other kids are now in foster care in the custody of the state. And so um poor lesson. The East, and this happened in, of course, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy and determined China's cause of death was acute alcohol poisoning. They said her child blood alcohol level was 0.680%, which is 8 times over the legal limit for adults. So the arrest warrant was obtained, and the grandmother again, she expressed regret. She wanted to take full responsibility. She ruined everyone's lives, and so the daughter was also taken into custody, and they're both charged with first degree murder. The Louisiana Department of Children and Family Services goes on to say, we are devastated to hear the news of this child's death. However, state law prevents our department from commenting on or even acknowledging the existence of a potential investigation of abuse or neglect involving a child. If there is an investigation, state law makes the entire process from report to investigation to outcome confidential. So here's where. So now my opinion, baby, this wasn't the first time this grandmother did something fucking crazy to this child. For you to think that that would be the next go-to as a level of punishment, that means that you've been doing other worse shit that you feel wouldn't give you the response that you're trying to get. Beatings, confinement, um, starvation, all kinds of other shit. For you to think that a 4-year-old can down a whole more than half full, 3/4 quarters bottle of whiskey, bitch, you're delusional. And that fucking mother, let me choose my words carefully. I understand that sometimes it may be very difficult. It may be very, very difficult to have circumstances beyond your control, which means that you have to live with your mother. And that means that you have to abide by your mother's rules. But, baby, when it comes to your children, I don't give a fuck whose household you in. You make sure your children are okay at all times. There's no way my mother, my auntie, nobody gonna have me sit at a table and watch my child down a whole fucking bottle of whiskey like it's okay. You should have been arrested first, and then that grandmother should have been arrested because you allowed that to happen. The first person we go to feel comfort, safe, nurture is our mother. Them children didn't have that with you. This wasn't the first time. This is a repeated. This is something that has always have been happening. I'm sorry to say it, but you don't just jump from teaching a child a punishment to go get drunk. A 4-year-old, no, bitch, you get drunk. I'd have been putting all kind of bleach shit in there. See, that's what you do when you start raising these kids to hate you and spite you. Then we get these stories of these kids killing their mothers and their parents, and we really don't know the full story. I'm so glad that they took these kids out of the care of the families. It really blew me. It always blows me how when they're the accessory to a child's crime is the parents. How? There, I don't care if your mom or your dad was involved in it at all. It doesn't make it right. And I could understand, we're under her roof. We got to abide by her rules. You can't do this, you can't do that. And so when they do it, not only does the children get in trouble, but the mother gets I'm gonna put you out. You better start, I kick you out if you don't do this right. And so in order for you to not get kicked out, because then that would mean you have to get up off your ass and get a job and do all the other things you need to do, whatever the case may be. You rather just allow your kids to take the brunt of it. You goofy ass. You goofy. You what's called real gutter. You real good for that. I hope you get what you get coming when you get locked up. Them little precious ass babies. Damn. And then you be thinking like, this was so sad, horrible mother and grandmother. I'm like, are you confused? Good morning, Jernay. Thank you for coming through. This was on the news too. They need to be dragged in the woods and shot dead. Baby, I agree. Now story pissing me off. Oh my God, that poor baby. I'm so mad. 8 times. Exactly. Imagine the suffering that baby went through. And I'm just thinking, oh, so you knew something was gonna happen, because why did you go lay the baby in the tub? Why? Oh, you knew? Don't let me know that sounds like premeditated to me. Like, oh, okay, now I'll go put her in the tub because you know what's next. Both you bitches need to be slapped with a blade. Just off with their fucking heads. I'm sorry. Off. Bye. All right, bring them babies in here. That's what needs to happen. And I try to go and figure out the signs. Of course, you feel in my head that there was abuse, existing abuse. But was she getting money from the system to take care of those kids? Like, was family services giving her dollars for those kids? If so, was welfare checks involved? Was any counseling involved? Did you have to see the kid? Like, then I'm starting to go there. Like, okay, bitches, who y'all? Because if it's taxpayer dollars involved, there's always somebody you can hold to it. Like, bitch, I'm holding y'all to it because who else you gonna hold to it? Everyone have an awesome day. You too. No one cares. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. No, I am a beast when it comes to my kids. Period. Hell no. And for the record, all 5 of my kids are around 30, and I will still set it off. Okay. Hey, King Roman. Hey, Lex, get real in the clouds listening. But that baby was crying. Whiskey would have hurt going down that baby's throat. And that mother sat there and watched that torture. Yeah, exactly. I know it had to hurt because I can't even down alcohol like that. So just imagine. And I'm sure she's like, I'm done. I'm, like, okay, I get it. Like, and the mother's just, you shouldn't have. Now, what the fuck could she have done that caused you to drink some whiskey? Like, I was trying to think. Stole some money from you? No, you just get your ass, you get it, go in a room, sit your ass down somewhere. There's nothing in my mind could ever lead me to ask anyone to down alcohol when they don't want to. That's just in general. So a 4-year-old bitch, you're a punk. First of all, we know you're a punk. Anybody who bullies a child to do something that they know they can't and they shouldn't be doing is a fucking punk in my brain. Like, you're a punk. You probably one of them folks who probably had, yeah, let me not even go there because I've been on went off. Risa, good morning. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Tracy, good morning to you. Good morning. So we just talked about the grandmother and mother who participated in having the 4-year-old drink a bottle of whiskey to her death, and how unfortunate. Both have been arrested under a charge of felony 1 murder. So I'll stay tuned to that story. Now, getting to this other weird ass story, murder story. So this woman fatally stabbed her 81-year-old husband after a dispute over coffee. So the husband had told the wife he didn't like the taste of his coffee. I didn't like the taste of the coffee. And she got so hurt and so mad and so pressed by this that she at first went into another room to drink bleach. She was about to drink bleach. And so he walked back there obviously she must have went and like, fuck you, but went off or some shit, went back there. So she's in the process of drinking bleach. He stops her. Stop. What are you doing? And as he's like going, trying to stop her, she runs into the kitchen, grabs a knife, returns to the other room, and stabs this man to his death. Leaves the house. And upon her coming back, she's arrested because the man calls 911 for his own arrest. Not funny at all, but it lets you know the level of mental health that not only he probably had, but what she had. Like, this had to be a buildup of a lot of different things. I mean, he must have, and I'm just being very honest, must have been an accumulation of her feeling like as a what do they call the women who like who just stay at home, a working mom? No kids were reported. As a wife, of being probably mistreated. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to put my details in there. It seemed like she just had enough, and she, either was going to kill herself or kill him, and she took him. And this is what happens. I don't think I would ever be so upset if somebody told me that the coffee I made for them was that, but you never know after 81 years, of living and what you've been through. So I just thought that was very, very interesting that, wow, be careful of what you tell someone doesn't taste well. You might want to send it to them in a text message and walk out the door. Hey, Voodoo, good morning. Where are their fathers and their families? Everybody, hell yeah, everybody would be responsible. Throw them under the jailhouse is a damn punk. Yeah, a whole fucking punk. You mean to tell me that, you couldn't, that means your words weren't strong enough and your actions wasn't strong enough either if you had to resort to poisoning a child. Like, that's some bullshit to me. But they're going to get what they got coming because they probably going to be in jail for a long time. I often wonder in instances like that, what else could be happening, because over coffee seems like a breaking point. That's what I said. First thing I said was, damn, she went to go drink bleach over coffee. I'd have told that nigga, you better go on about your day, bitch. Go get some cream and it's some sugar. It's another K-cup in there. You better figure it out. That's why I don't make other people's fucking coffee. I snapped off, but it would have been just one of them. Like, the fuck? Don't ever ask me to make coffee for you ever again. Period. Like, I'm not finna, but it had to be an accumulation of maybe her making lasagna. This is not good, or not feeling worthy enough. But damn, definitely a breaking point. Stepford wife. Hey.